What is intent? Welcome to Philosopher's Corner. I'm John. What is intent? Intent is the beginning point of a person beginning to express and flow the energies into the world of their desired outcome for a situation or situations. It's the genesis point within us from our soul into our mind, into our body at the energetic level that begins to put into the world how we want things to go. Now, that can be big picture, it can be small picture, it can be literally anything. It can just be we have a thought about how we want to feel. It can be about an outcome we want in a social situation. It can be about what we want on a menu. It is anything that we want to interact with in the reality. And intention is also seen by the great philosophers to be the point at which morality becomes effective in the world, becomes causation in the world. Like Kant, that's his big thing, is that intent, that's the moment where we go from having thoughts about things to having the energy that animates us begin to express and put into motion the thoughts that we have. And so for him, that is where morality begins. And his great works, he goes deeply into what it means, how he believes there's a universal law for it, which he calls the categorical imperative, that is a rational, it's a set of morality based on rational thinking, and he makes it a universal maxim for people that basically says, well, in life you're autonomous and your ethics should be based on preserving your autonomy and that of others. And he goes into great detail about it. But intention is that place where how we think about things, and then as we begin to flow the energies to create desired effects in our reality, that's what the intention is. And of course, there are many people in the world, like, depending on your level of sensitivities and your level of awareness, you can sense intention in people before it even becomes manifest, even before the actions are put into play. And that's really, a lot of socializing and social analysis really hone in on people's intentions. Intentions is famously, or intent itself is famously the subject of acting. In acting, people are always asking, well, what are the motivations of the characters? Well, character motivation is the same as intent or intention. And that's what makes drama so fascinating, especially well-done dramas, is that you get to see a set of characters, and through dramatic irony, which means we know more than the characters know, typically we know most, if not all, of the characters' intentions. And then we get to see how, as the film goes through time and space, how those intentions resolve with the group and how they affect each other. And that's actually what makes it entertaining. So intent and intention are really one of the most entertaining factors in life, because within intention, because it's so close to the soul and so close to, it's really the clearest look that you'll get into the actual desires of human beings. You get maybe the clearest window into their soul of any other aspect of life. Now, as it relates to morality, we know that morality, when you boil it down to it, morality is the analysis of choices and of their effects, and on the both on the group, the external people that have to deal with the choice of the individual, and of the choices as they rule the behavior of the individual. They're both expressions. No matter how, if it's a good or bad moral choice, it's still the expression of the individual's autonomy. Now, in terms of trying to figure out a moral code based on it, Kant spent, the lion's work of his career trying to figure that out. And of course, moral codes are up for eternal debate, and they go into the realm of the spiritual, because they deal with the soul and they deal with other people's souls and autonomy. But what we can say, existentially speaking, is that the intention is the first expression of that energy. Now, in a disciplined manner, if we are aware of that, if we acknowledge that, then that can be the area where we can do the most inner work. Because if we can all get in touch internally and know that, oh, okay, I have this energy that's within me, my thinking phase, my dreaming phase, meditation phase, thinking phase in general. And then out of all that, when I've really gone through all the permutations of oh, what do I want, what am I trying to achieve here, what am I trying to get out of this, all those things. And then at that moment, when we start to go, okay, cool, now it's time to start putting this in motion, that moment where we decide what our intent is at that moment, that's the moment at which we can personally start to examine our own moral code. And regardless of the philosophy or the theology regarding morality, which is up to the individual, of course. And I think morality I think it's best to apply the scientific method to morality. Whatever you end up deciding on for your morality, you got to live with it. And there's cause and effect. And I think that's the most important part of it. If you believe in the golden rule, then live it out and see if it improves your life, if it increases harmony in your life. If you believe in do what thou shalt, or whatever, the satanic Luciferian morality code, and you just want to go power grab and do that, well, then live that out and see how you like the results. And it's trial and error. And to me, the overall assessment in that trial and error and scientific method style with morality is that, for me personally, if the moral code I'm working with, if it increases my harmonization with other human beings and animals and sentient pieces of the universe, and it increases my ascension, and it makes me more harmonious with the universe and the creator step by step as it comes and goes, and I'm getting good positive feedback, and my emotional system is feeding me good information, then I know that my moral code is working. And if the opposite is happening, if my life is getting worse, if I'm getting more isolated, if I'm getting bad feedback, if I feel bad, and I find myself being imbalanced, then I know that I need to look at my moral decisions and decide, okay, am I treating people right? Are my intentions, good? Whatever. And I think in a secular manner, that's just a good way to judge your own feedback of your moral. It's a moral loop. Like morality causes your actions, and then the actions cause effects, and the effects cause the reality to come back to you. And so it's a feedback loop. So you got to monitor your own feedback loop. But it begins at the point of intention, because the intention is where the first energies begin to get expressed, and that's where we can catch ourselves and go, oh, what's my intention in this moment before I even go act it out? Because as you can feel that energy starts to come into you to motivate you, to animate you, to fuel your speech, to fuel your actions, to fuel your livelihood and your effort, your mindfulness, which all leads up to your concentration. Before you ramp it up to full on, like you're into it, at that moment where you feel it come into you, go, oh, okay, that is my intention, and be real with yourself before you carry the intention forward. And I believe that the intention is what fuels our motivation in the scenes of life and in our life in general. So it's very valuable to understand what intention is, what phase of our process of our personhood it's in, and what knowing that can allow us to do in terms of personal management. So intention, what is it? It's the beginning of the expression of our energies of how we want to interact with the world. And they can be seen by other people. They can definitely be felt by other people. And they can be seen and felt by animals, plants, any kind of sentient piece of the environment can sense our intentions. And the more we open up and connect to the greater part of the universe and creation, the more the intention aspect becomes the primary means of communication with it, because it's purely energetic. And when you get to the very energetic levels, it even starts to transcend the conceptual levels. It starts to just be vibration and frequency. And that's the more you get comfortable with the intention process within yourself and refine it, then the better it can become, the more refined it becomes. So, well, thanks for spending some time here at Philosopher's Corner. I hope you found this helpful. It was my intention that you found it helpful. And as always, have fun.